45-year-old Owen Bacchus is behind bars for fatally beating a man he claimed was an intruder. At around 6:30 p.m. on Saturday the 9th of December, authorities responded to a home at 1766 Western Avenue in Green Bay, Wisconsin to investigate a disturbance, and when they arrived, they found a 30-year-old unresponsive man tied up on the kitchen floor. Officers attempted first aid on the man, but they were unsuccessful when he was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim's identity has been withheld at the request of family. Authorities said that the suspect Owen Bacchus called 911 from a neighbour's home and reported being in a physical altercation with the victim. Officers arrested Owen and booked him into the Brown County Jail on suspicion of murder. On Thursday the 21st of December, Owen was charged with first-degree intentional homicide and bail jumping. Authorities said that Owen claimed the victim entered his home and came after him with a wrench while he was in the shower. He said he beat up the victim because the victim was allegedly attempting to do the same. When officers searched the residence, they found the victim laying face down on the kitchen floor with blood all around him. Shards of glass were littered around the floor, some of which had blood on it. The victim had a white cord wrapped around his neck and a black shirt tied over his head. The officers cut the cord and removed the shirt, but they found another cord wrapped around his head. Owen told police that he was in the shower when the victim came into his home and started to go crazy. Owen said the victim came after him with a wrench and they began fighting. Owen said he picked up a beer pitcher and clubbed the victim in the head with it. After that, Owen said the victim stopped moving, but he still appeared to be breathing. Owen said he picked up a cord and tied the man's ankles. The victim reportedly came to, then he flipped out and they wrestled for another 15 to 20 minutes. He then picked up a black shirt and put it over the victim's head, then tied it with a cord so the victim could not see in case he got up. The autopsy showed the victim died from blunt force injuries and asphyxia. He had bruising on his eyes, arms, leg, stomach and back, as well as other cuts on his body. Owen claimed he killed the victim in self-defense because the victim was relentless and that he was protecting his home. Detectives reviewed a series of jail calls that Owen made shortly after his arrest. Investigators said it was clear that Owen and the victim knew each other and had mutual friends. In those jail calls, Owen indicated that he was dropped off at his residence by a friend when he found the victim inside the home. Owen said the victim was rearranging the house and taking things off the wall and was going to paint, which Owen did not approve of, and the two got into an argument. He claimed the victim attacked him, which is why he fought back. Owen told police the victim had a pulse when he left the house to call police. The detective said this was inconsistent with the way the victim's body was located face down with two different cords wrapped tightly around the victim's neck and a t-shirt wrapped around his face. Owen is held at the Brown County Jail with bond set at $1 million. Owen was previously arrested for an unrelated incident on the 24th of October on charges of obstructing an officer and disorderly conduct. He appeared in court on the 22nd of November, where he was imposed with a $300 cash bond, which included a condition that he commit no new crimes. 24-year-old Joshua Williams is behind bars for fatally strangling his 15-year-old girlfriend Amaris Parker. On the night of Monday the 11th of December, Amaris stayed over at Joshua's apartment in the 7200 block of South Phillips Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. A neighbor allegedly heard the couple arguing in the late hours of the night and into the early hours of the morning. At 7 p.m. on Tuesday the 12th of December, Joshua called his cousin because Amaris was foaming at the mouth and he didn't know what to do. Joshua's cousin called 911 and paramedics arrived at the scene. They went into the apartment and found Amaris lying in an open closet with a blanket covering all but her head. Her neck appeared to be red and cut, and a necklace had been wedged into her throat. She was pronounced dead at the scene. When questioned by police, Joshua said the pair had fallen asleep together and Amaris didn't wake up the next day. He denied arguing the night before. The Cook County medical examiner determined Amaris died from strangulation. Detectives obtained videos from Joshua's phone that showed him touching his deceased girlfriend's body at around 6:30 p.m. on the 12th of December. He also searched more than 50 topics on Google, including information on the death penalty, murder, and how to explain asphyxiation death and more. Joshua, who also had a warrant out of Colorado Springs in Colorado from a 2019 strangulation case, was arrested on Saturday the 16th of December. Joshua was booked into the Cook County Jail on charges of murder and been a fugitive from justice and is held without bond. 53-year-old Lawrence Voisin is behind bars on suspicion of raping a 10-year-old child. On Tuesday the 19th of December, authorities responded to a public school in Homer, Louisiana, to speak with a 10-year-old victim who reported the abuse. Deputies briefly spoke to the victim, who confirmed their sexual encounters with Lawrence. Detectives from the Special Units victim then interviewed the victim further. After the detectives substantiated the evidence, they located and arrested Lawrence at his home later that day. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree rape involving a 10-year-old, and is held at the Terrebonne Parish Jail on a $250,000 bond. If convicted, he faces life in prison. The relationship between Lawrence and the child has not been disclosed.